Let's set the record straight. I'll find it very disrespectful if, as I'm speaking, you're making fun and not listening to me. That's not our culture. In our culture, when adults are speaking, the young should listen.
Yes.
And then when the opportunity avails itself, then the young also speak. Are we on a clean slate?
Yes.
Wonderful. So AIESEC.
What's up?
What's up, AIESEC?
What's up?
I got a letter from an individual who never came to have a discussion with me. And so it was difficult to situate the event within my schedule and know what the whole thing was about. After the letter, there should have been an interaction between the two of us. I mean, whoever signed the letter. And so there was a little gap until Rosemary over there. Rosemary is doing a national service in my office, and she said to me that she had participated in AIESEC activities as a student. And that's why I honored the invitation. So Rosemary, thank you on my behalf. I bring you greetings from the government and people of Ghana to participants from Mexico, China, USA, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Nigeria, and Japan. I am overwhelmed by what I've just heard right now since I stepped in here. And that stems from the fact that I see a vibrant generation who want to celebrate who they are. And that is remarkable. I think we deserve a round of applause. Colonialism has put barriers between our countries, and so even though I'm from Aplau, if I don't speak Ewe, then I cannot communicate with my Togolese neighbors. Why? Because Ghana was colonized by the British, and Togo was colonized by the French. Yeah. So there's a gap between us, which shouldn't be. But through culture, we narrow the gap. And that is what you're doing. That's what is remarkable about this interaction. You are proving to me that it does not matter what barriers are set between us, we are still one people. That you can bring Cote d'Ivoire, who is also our neighbor, and Togo together, and of course, all the others who are here, is one that says to me that through culture, we can narrow the world. What is culture, one may ask? Culture is a way of life. It's who we are, it's what we do, it's what we eat, what we wear, the poetry that we have, the songs that we sing, the dances that we do, and many others. And if you and I admit that whatever Togo eats is what Ghana eats, then really we can use culture to bridge the gap that the colonial boundaries have set for us. And it is in that light that our forebears, including Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of blessed memory, sought to bring AU. But beyond AU, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is also UNESCO. UNESCO was set up to celebrate the individuality of people and also the beauty of the diversity that we have. And for you young people, years after your forebears have set this in motion, and for you to continue to want to celebrate that, it's remarkable indeed. I asked myself, social development. What is social development? It's about putting people in the center of development. And putting people in the center of development means that you must involve, from a very early age, young people to understand who they are, what their cultures are, so they can use that for development. And I think that you've had it all cut out. I see that you have food from the various countries. That means that at your age now, if you appreciate who you are, then the chances of farming, because farming ultimately it provides the food that we eat, and we must grow what we eat, then indeed, what am I here for? But to say felicitations to all of you. I think that countries that are doing better than us have embraced their culture to the extent that it has brought about development. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you look at Japan, for example, even today, they still have their greeting that they do when they see when they meet their adults. If you want to know about the culture of the people, watch their films. Their films are supposed to be situated within their culture. So, even as we as a people say that the world has become smaller and the world is a global village, well, it may well be that it's a global village, but it also means that we must belong to that global village. We must eschew the desire to be a photocopy of everybody but ourselves. When you wake up in the morning and you are dressing up, do you dress up as a Ghanaian? Can you be mistaken for an Ivorian, or an African American, or a Caribbean indigene? What about you speaks to us, the rest of the world, that you are a Ghanaian? What about you? What is it from your hair to the sole of your feet that speaks to the world and celebrates your uniqueness as a Ghanaian? That is the question. Until we do with pride, until we accept who we are, our identity as Ghanaian, and not look down on anything that we do, we will be lost in the scheme of the world affairs. We will not have an identity, and we will very soon be a blackboard for every world, every part of the world to write something on. So it's important for you to, as you make the small choices and the big choices in life, to situate them within the context of the country in which you are born, or on the continent on which you are born. You cannot be celebrating AIESEC and succeeding if you're, and this is no disrespect to anybody, this is my speech, I am owning it, it's my understanding of the topic that I'm asked to share with you. If you wake up in the morning and your hair is Brazilian, your shirt is Mexican, your shoe is American, your jewelry is Japanese, your shoes are from Togo or Ivory Coast, what part of you is celebrating Ghana?
Yeah.
All right? So perhaps the fabric can come from Japan, but it must be made by a Ghanaian. Then you have allowed the development or the economy to develop through your craft. You can bring rice from the US of A, but if you make a mutuo with it and not fried rice, then you have made it a Ghanaian meal. Then you are sustaining your own culture and promoting it for development. Because the more you use what is made in Ghana, the more the economy grows, and the more people who are putting the food on your table also keep their monies in their pockets. For as long as we have this unfettered appreciation for other people's cultures, we are shortchanging ourselves, and we will not be developing as fast as we want to develop. That's the pure truth. For as long as everything that's produced around the world takes the front seat in your life, and everything that is Ghanaian takes the back seat, your country will not develop. By all means, as we invite the world to share in who we are, we must position ourselves to celebrate the world as well. But the quantum is what I'm talking about. To what level do we do that? Are we doing it at the expense of our own culture, of our own identity? That would be wrong. There's something to be said for Nigeria. Where are my Nigerian people?
I've taken them already.
We say that Nigeria is the most populous nation in Africa. That may be true. But they also are a people who are very proud of their heritage. But, okay, now you are happy, so be ready to swallow this one as well. story. For many years, I could not go to Nigeria. Why? Why? Because you chose to use your film. Tell the part of your story that you don't want to see. You've used your film to tell the story of a Nigeria where nobody can be rich until they use Jew. You've used your film to tell me that witchcraft can be thrown at me if I step at the airport. But then, hold on. But then, not too long ago, I gathered courage and honored an invitation to be at the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. And the event was held at the Victoria Islands. And when I got to Victoria Islands, I nearly didn't come back. Victoria Islands is rarely, if ever, used in your film. That is the part of your Nigeria that we should be throwing at the world. Not the wicked woman, because the sky is blue everywhere. There are bad people in every country I have been to. And I assure you that I've been to about 26 countries. So I know what I'm talking about. There are bad people everywhere. Why do we as Africans celebrate only the badness of Africa? Why do we tell the story when we have the opportunity to tell the story that the world doesn't want to see? The world is already telling the bad stories about us anyway. So when we get the opportunity, should we not be celebrating Victoria Islands, Cantonments, East Legon? The power is in your hands to change the narrative. Not too long ago, I saw Angelique. Is Benin in the house? Not too long ago, I saw Angelique Kidjo receive an award in the United States of America. And that woman stole my heart away. In her dressing was an image of a beautiful Beninois woman. Did you watch her? Yes. If you didn't, it's not too late. If you go on the internet, you can find her. She wore this beautiful cabaret slit and presented that award to all the women who were before her. That was beautiful. That is telling our story. Do you think that Angelique Kidjo could not have afforded a beautiful gown by, what are the names of the people? Okay, enough. Hold it right there. She could afford anything that she wanted to wear. But that day, that was her moment to claim her place in the world stage and say, this is who I am. This is me. I am Angelique Kidjo, and I come from Benin. And perhaps you may not like Benin, but here I am. It was a beautiful moment, and I celebrated her. But I wondered also, if it was a young artist from Ghana, what would they have won to that award? I didn't mention anybody's name. Now, for a moment, imagine if it was me, a Blanche Fagomashi, going to receive that award. What would I have won? That comes easily to you because for those of you who are Ghanaian, that is the image I painted to you. I'm always in my African wear. And my beads, even before I became Mama Jiramado from Aflau, even before the installation as a queen, I always had my beads either on my ankle or on my wrist. So you must, as you progress in life and seek for development for your continent, you must position yourself to be an original, to be yourself. The world doesn't need photocopies of Beyonce and Rihanna. Oh no, the world already has the people that they need. What the world is ready for is an Angelique Kidjo. It's It's an Efia. It's a Becca. It's a Sarkodia. It's no. You see, that's where we depart. It's not every artist I mentions, because not all of them sit well with me. I'm a deputy minister for the sector, but I'm mentioning the people that I want to mention. Hold on to yours. When you have your platform, you can use them. But I would like to see, I would like to celebrate the young women and men, Efia, Becca, Sakodi, Edem, Manifest, enough. Among others, I like to celebrate those. But what role do you play in that progression towards development? What role do young people play? Well, fortunately for me, unfortunately for you, I have lived to see you want to celebrate your uniqueness and your identity. And so I cannot begin to even list the kinds of things you should be doing. I think you're already in a place where you know what to do, but perhaps, and to end this conversation, perhaps what I will appeal to you and plead with you is that if you think there's something that is wrong in your culture, it is your responsibility not to promote and not to celebrate that which you think is against your culture. In our culture, it's wrong for people to use the platform that they have to disrespect adults. It does not mean that adults don't wrong or that they don't go wrong. It only means that when adults are wrong, children tell other adults to correct the other adults. The child that put their fingers in the faces of their adults will hurt chichiga. You too will grow. Now, if you don't speak my language and your reaction is because I spoke a language you don't understand, that is disrespectful. See, nobody goes to the market and buys everywhere 20 cedis, Fantic 10 cedis, GAN 50 cedis, to be who they are. You are born into a culture, you are born into a country, and you must embrace it. I was born to a parents in Accra, so I speak GAN. I went to school in Kumasi, so I speak Chi. But ultimately, Afba is my mother tongue. And I need you to start appreciating each other's cultures. Language is culture. And as I started this conversation, I said, there's been barriers created for us, but through culture we can break down those barriers. But breaking them down does not mean that we should disrespect the heritage that each of us has. So if you are Gan, I celebrate you. If you're Fanti, I celebrate you. If I'm ever, you must celebrate me. It is the beauty in that diversity that UNESCO wants you and I to celebrate. It is the beauty of that diversity that makes the God that we serve awesome. That we all don't speak the same language, we all don't eat the same food, we all don't drink the same things, but we all call the same God. And we honor you for the choices that have been made for us. There were 5 choices that are divinely made for us, and as long as we look to that, we will be on the right path. You don't get to choose who your mother and your father are. You don't get to choose the tribe that you come from. You don't get to choose your gender. You don't get to choose your country. And you don't get to choose when you are born. Those are all divinely chosen for us. And so let's have pride in self. Let's look at opportunities through which we can bring development to our people by patronizing what is produced in Ghana, by promoting it, and positioning ourselves to defend it with our very blood. You know,